so I cannot tell you how much. Like, I have had women send stuff to my PO box, being like, "Hey, Hunter, how you doing? Can you give my number to Nick?" I've had people from my hometown message me and be like, "Can I get Nick's number?" So much stuff. So what I'm thinking is, we're thinking about going somewhere, maybe Vegas or something, renting like a mansion, and then doing like a Rock of Love show, except with Nick. And we're thinking about doing that.
And the thing is, whoever I pick, we get married.
Yeah, the whole thing is that whoever gets picked, you get to get legally married in Vegas.
We'll sign a prenup. Sorry, that's just how it goes.
Well, I imagine it'll get annulled that day, but still. I think legally it's funny if you have to actually get married.
Gross. What?
Carrie.
Gross.
We have people. We have one guy. He's says it's lame. I think it'd be funny. I think it'd be a funny time. Do a thing, and all because all the thing too is like usually in the challenges it's like the women competing against each other. I just think it'd be funny if all the challenges.
SP. $270K. Like, what the fuck? Yeah, I'll sell my fucking Tarzan key for that much. Wait for it to fucking go down. the fuck was I gonna do? Oh yeah. Bro.
If it's 10 women there, and it's like, oh yeah, whoever, it's like 10v1 in paintball, and they all have to shoot Nick, and whoever has, like, whichever paint is covered the most, like from Nick, like whoever's like paint color, they get to go on the date with them. I think that should be funny.
I said I should dress up as a white rabbit, and everyone laughed at me.
Well, I still don't really understand what the fuck that means.
Because I'd be like, they're hunting me, and I'm like a rabbit. And it's like, you're hunting the prey.
Well,
Also
you gotta
white.
shoot the women back. It's gonna be funny if you have to shoot them back. It's a 10v1. You know, it's got to be a two-way street here.
I thought it's more like you throw me out in like a national park. Like,
No, I'm saying that we rent out a fucking paintball area, and it's you versus 10 other people. Because you'd want to see the other people get fucking hit too, right? Because that might even piss them off, and they're like, I want to leave. I want to fucking go home.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm picturing the whole show is gonna be like at the end of it, nobody wants to actually win, and they kind of want to get off the show.
Yeah, and see, to me, that's a fun vibe too. Who can get off the show? And you're like, sorry, here's your rose. You have to stay.
I'm gonna read this comment because someone says, "Damn, it's crazy. This is the JFK."
It's true.
Unredacted.
Unredacted. That is what it is.
Laura Townsend says, "Dude, you are killing me. How am I supposed to work with your live stream during daylight hours?"
I don't know.
Where do you work at? No reason.
That is kind of creepy how you approach that.
I meant it as more as a joke. It's more of a, I'm gonna call your boss and tell him you're not working.
Yeah, but now it's you being like, I'm gonna show up and give you belly kisses. How do we audition? But Nick was doing something strange in my dream, so I don't know. How do we audition? I don't know. We'd probably do something where we would have to, like, open up an email and ask applicant. I like vet through shit that way. You know, it'd be a process. There'd also probably be a lot of legal stuff involved, like a lot of stuff you have to sign and all that shit. Well, I'm like, if you rent out a mansion, it's just like, oh yeah, this is funny, and then some fucking crazy bitch falls down a staircase and breaks her leg. It's like, you know, is that my fault? You know what I mean? That's the kind of stuff I need to iron out.
I think if it is production, like if a light fell on her,
If a light fell, I don't know what I would do with myself if a light fell on somebody and crushed their leg. I would feel so horrible. Would you let gay men be in it? Like, is this going to be is this going to be different, like, people? You know, like we could have gay men or femboys as well.
If I get to choose who gets kicked off, any gay men, they will be the first to leave.
So you're saying that yes, there is an option where, but you have to choose when they leave. That's what you're saying.
Oh, I'm saying they will the first round. If that's the joke, I'll be like, well, I'm sorry, I'm not gay.
I have a feeling. See, you're saying this. I have a feeling that you're gonna be like, I don't know. I kept Robert here. I kept Robert. He's a nice guy, dude. We're hanging out. The only person that Nick actually has any physical contact with the entire time is Robert, the gay man.
Oh, he's my boy.
He's my boy. We had a great time in the sauna the other night. Yeah, the GoPros couldn't be in there. Great time.
I don't know. It'd be interesting. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I feel like I'd be really awkward.
Well, that's the point. That's the point. Because it would have to be something to where, it would have to be something, because, like, this is the thing in Bret Michaels' Rock of Love. Bret is kissing all of these women. I mean, he is all up in it. So we would have to do something to where you have to go up and like kiss these people and stuff. I mean, you're gonna marry one of them at the end of the show.
It's true.
You know?
It's giving me flashbacks to when I was younger. We'd always go over to this person's house, get drunk and play weird fucking games.
Herpes
had
the
it.
show. Listen,
Yeah.
we would have, people would be medically tested, all right? We would make sure everybody's clean. But I will say, you know, who knows? Swap and spit, you don't know what's going to happen. That's not on the show. That's not on the show. If you want to sue anybody, sue Nick, not the show.
What?
You heard me.
Don't sue any. Look, this is gonna be a fun show. Nothing sexual, no kissing involved.
There's going to be kissing somehow. If anything, you know what it is. Instead of to respect you and the participant, it's only forehead kisses.
Okay, I like that.
It's only forehead kisses. It's going to be that uncomfortable.
We'll do upper hand competitions.
Forehead kisses and hover hugs.
I like that. See,
I think it'd be good.
I need to think of what would my ideal day?
Let's actually, that's a great question.
Make
What would that?
a-
But go ahead. Just list off a little something so we have an understanding.
Can it be anything?
Yeah.
I want belly rubs. I want to wake up to belly rub and her looking in my eyes, wishing me a good morning. I want a woman.
So are you saying that that's a challenge is going to be each contestant comes in, you pretend you're
Well-
sleeping, they give you belly rubs, and then you wake up and they're like looking in your eyes? You want to start your day with a belly rub?
Well, as I guess this is once we're married and living together.
No, these have to be the challenges.
See, I don't know.
Well, see, because you have to find your ideal partner. So if you're like,
chicken sandwich, who could make the best fried chicken sandwich?
that's a good one. Ladies, he loves his fried chicken sandwiches. So basically, so far what you're saying is you want to simulate you waking up in the morning with belly rubs and to see which person that feels best with, and then now next, who can create the best chicken sandwich? Okay, these are all plausible things so far.
And then, see, I don't want to give too much away because I don't want people coming in and gaming the system. But we will have movie trivia night and anime trivia.
That's true. I forgot we were gonna do like a Legends of the Hidden Temple type of thing where Nick asks people anime questions, and whoever gets the most points gets a date with him. So those are the three things. There's nothing else that you know.
There's more.
How judgmental would you be on looks, though? Would you be pretty severe? Because you seem like I feel like in the past you're particularly, I wouldn't say shallow. It's just you definitely don't. You prefer, huh?
I was gonna say I don't discriminate, but the opposite. I do discriminate on looks.
And I think the problem is I feel like that's going to make you very unlikable. It's going to make you so I think that you gotta. What I'm saying is, would you put that aside? Would you not be shallow?
Yes, I will give everyone a shot.
You know, you're a kind king. You're a kind god. You know that, right?
No, not racially. Grimly the Destroyer. I don't discriminate on like attractiveness.
His Nick's personality makes him unlikable. I think his personality is his best trait. Although, you know, I think, you know, there's times when you say some crazy things, but that's a part of the charm. So basically, what I'm saying is I would have to vet and get people that I'm like, I know. Well, first off, physically, what's the kind of, like, looks-wise, hair color, eye color, all that stuff. What are you looking for? Because are we having to vet for that, or am I just choosing people where I'm like,
No. I mean, I think eye color, hair color, it's all superficial. It's just more. I mean, obviously, there's like people I'm attracted to, but it's not like
who?
well, I like Asians, but I like all flavors of the world.
all flavors, huh? I don't know why, but that felt even more racist to me than anything. Referring to other people that aren't Asian. All 32 flavors of people at Baskin Robbins. I want all of them.
I'm saying I don't know. I don't.
There's no way. See, this is the problem though. Is you have to be a little shallow if this is the person you're going to be with forever. You know? So you have to be petty.
I will say I have
How so?
By hanging out with them.
No, I mean, what did you not find attractive about him?
Well, just more of like instant, like in the sense of like,
Yeah, what was your gut reaction when you saw him?
just like, oh, how do I say this? I'd be like, oh, you don't need to worry, I'm not gonna hit on you.
You said that to somebody?
No.
God.
More of just like, oh, they're, you know, I can be friends with this person.
What kind of person?
Women,
All right.
it's just more of like, oh, the first thing that pops in my mind is not like, oh, they're cute.
Yeah.
I just see them as a person,
Yeah.
not as a pedestal.
not as a piece of meat that you're gonna tear apart. I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, this is the tricky thing. This is a glimpse into the show, dude. This is how hard it's gonna be. Because you're gonna have to look somebody in the eyes and just be like, I just don't think you're attractive, and that's just. And it sounds mean, but that's just sometimes it's just the fucking way it is.
This person says he means we're fat. No, there's many people that are ugly too.
If there was a plus size queen on the show, would you give her a chance?
Yes. I know I hesitated for a second, but I was gonna say,
That is such.
oh, look, when you
You
said
know,
plus size,
it doesn't make you a monster just to say no if that's just not your preference. I mean, this is a fucking show.
look, this is what I was gonna say. Plus size, if they're thicker, I don't mind. Okay. I don't mind if they're thicker, but if you're talking to me like morbidly obese and sickly, that's gonna be a hard sell.
You know, that's at least we got down to it. You know what? I mean, that's you have to appreciate the honesty. You have to appreciate the honesty.
And look, here's the thing. Everyone's got their type. I would not be offended if someone said to my face, it'd be rude, but they said you're unattractive, you're disgusting, whatever.
You would 100% be offended.
No, I wouldn't.
If somebody came up to you and they said, you're unattractive, and I don't, you're unattractive, you're an ugly person, I think you're gross, I don't want to touch you physically, you would be offended. There's no way to skirt around that without being like...
If someone random just came up to me and said that,
Yeah.
I'd be taken aback because I'm like, where's this coming from?
Mm.
But I wouldn't hold it against them. I'd be like, that's fair, okay.
Someone said I just got a weight loss ad. Ozempic's doing wonders for our future dating show.
I'm just saying. First of all, there's a mean way to say something. There's a nice way.
How would you break it to a woman? Let's say this is the show. I'm just, and this is the reason I'm doing this too is because I'm like, this is like a part of the show, right? Where day one elimination. How would you break that to somebody in a way where you're like, this is not working? In a way you said it could be nice.
Well, if it's a game show, I'll just be like, I'm sorry that you were the weakest link. That's the thing. I gotta go by the challenges.
Weakest link. You hit the poor son of a bitch with the weakest link line. Okay. So,
You know what I mean?
yeah, but what if she's why?
Well, so if it's like, okay, like chicken
No, this is her. Why?
Well, I'd be like, do you want the truth or do you want me to sugarcoat
Wrong.
things?
Okay, wrong. First off, I'm gonna already tell you that is the wrong approach already. Do not give the person the ultimatum of this is going to be very bad, or I can lie to your face. That is the worst way
Okay, this is what I'd say. I'd
What
say,
would you
you
say?
know what? I was like, and this is the first day. We've got 25 beautiful women.
To be some of the most beautiful women on
You know,
earth.
some of the most beautiful women.
Right.
I'd have Big Jacob come out.
Yeah.
And say, pick 5 that go home.
Yeah, but even on the first day, he says that, but then you still have to. You still.
Then
Also, this is
Well,
only this is only 10 people, so it's
Oh, it's only 10?
each day you're only having one leave. Yeah.
Okay. I would say this.
Hmm.
I'd say, you know, there's 10 beautiful women out here.
And you sadly
All of
are not one of them.
No, no.
Okay.
I say this is a hard decision.
Hmm.
If I could, I'd marry all of you, but I can only choose one.
Okay. Yeah.
And I'm like, sorry, Rachel, you did not get the rose.
Why?
I know. It's just, you know, when you have 10 beautiful women,
Okay. I like
every
this. Yeah.
every point counts, and you were just one off.
What about me though? Why me?
If I could, I'd let you stay, but someone's got to go.
And then if you Nick, if you say that, I'm going to say we can have her stay if you want. And also, you just have to get rid of someone else. That's what I'd say. I will come in and I will say that.
But then I'd say out of these other 9, I want them to stay more than you.
This would be gold. The person should, but she's like, but why? Why them over me? What did I do wrong?
Well, for starters, the chicken sandwich.
The chicken sandwiches contest has not happened yet.
Oh, well, I'd say, yeah. What is the challenge? What's the challenge? What is the first day challenge?
The first day, it's the first episode is there's no challenge really. It's all just get to know.
Okay.
It's all conversation.
Okay. So what we would do a confessional box. I would sit in blind.
Okay,
That's the thing. Blind.
No.
Blind.
I said there's no challenge. This is literally everyone shows up to the house. You have to have the first episode be your thing of like get to know the house, to know people. So this is you going around. And it's very like it's just you get to talk to everybody. It's a brief encounter. It's kind of like whenever you go past somebody at like a bar or something, and you're just like, hey, it's like a quick encounter kind of thing. That's the vibe of the first episode.
Okay. Well, then I'd say you know, out of these other 9 ladies, I felt like there was more of a connection.
Yeah.
We didn't really talk that much.
You're media trained. But this is good. Go ahead, keep going.
You know, and it's just like, you know, just with the time that we had, I felt like,
Yeah, there just
we
wasn't
weren't-
something there.
yeah, there just wasn't something there. Like I said, if there's more time, maybe, but just out of the other 9 girls, I felt like there's something stronger. Like you're Pluto on the planet list, far away distance from planet Nick the sun.
Planet Nick the Sun. You had to go until the Pluto comet. The Pluto comet definitely is going to hurt somebody's feelings. You're the most unexceptional tiny planet. And especially if you're talking about, because you're also, let me rephrase this. You're talking about a big girl, and you're like, you're Pluto.
Oh, what?
That's insulting.
Why do they have to be big? Who said it? Who said-
That's where this whole conversation was based.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that was the. You didn't tell me that.
Okay, so let's say it's a big girl.
I would say. Personality's great. Just need to work on something.
Oh my god. You're gonna be, dude, you cannot, you're gonna be so fucking unlikable. It's gonna be unbelievable. Good god. You have a nice personality, but you gotta work on some things. I feel like I'd rather just have somebody, like, if I was on a dating show with a woman, and she's just like, I'm just not physically attracted to you. You know, it's like, why? And it's like, you're just a bigger person. It's just, I'm not my cup of tea. I don't think that there's anything wrong with saying that. Is there? I mean, really? Is there not? Is that fat phobic? I don't think that's fat phobic. I'm just not attracted to you. You know what I mean?
like a girl who I could bench press.
You saying, okay. I need a girl that's 63 pounds. listen.
Look.
Listen. This is what I think that you have a lot of time to get media trained. I think that you're a very honest person. I think you got to be honest with people. I think you just need to figure out ways of wording it to where. Because so far, I feel like you've done nice things, you've done something, but then you pepper it a bit with an insult at the end, even if you don't know it. You're throwing a little bit of pepper.
Well, this is the thing. I'd throw it back at the girl. You could insult me. That's what I would do. I'd say you get insult me if I insulted you.
That. It feels like even more of an insult.
Why?
Because it feels like I've had people say that to me before. Like I was a chubbier guy, or still am, but when I was younger, chubbier, and then someone would be like, "Yeah, dude, what are you gonna do? Eat the whole fucking table?" And you're like, "Oh," and it's like, "Huh, dude, I'm just fucking with you. We're just joking around." It's like, "Here, make fun of me," or like they try to point at themselves. You know what I mean?
That's what bros do.
Yeah. Well, I guess that's true. I guess I've never done that to a woman, so maybe they are bros like us, huh? You know what? You're a fat piece of shit, and I think you're gross as hell. But dude, just honestly, like, make fun of my hair. Do you feel better? Do you feel?
It's fucking gross.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
she's like,
okay.
well, I feel way better now.
Okay, if women did that, that's a test. But I'm a man, and for me,
I
I'm
like
just
this. Yeah.
For me, I'm just like, hey, if I hurt you, you can hurt me, because you were the queen. Because this is what I'd say. I'd say these are the 10 most beautiful women
Yeah.
that my best friend Hunter has picked out.
Yeah.
And I know he would not pick out anyone he think I wouldn't find attractive. So these 10 people, you're special. You're special. You made it onto the show. You were special.
You're special. Yeah. But you're just not from the same cloth. You're not cut from the same cloth.
You can't fit in the same clothes.
And I'm gonna have to console all these people and be like, I'm so sorry, you're beautiful. I don't know what's wrong with him.
I would never say
And
that.
then you sit there, and then you're walking up the round steps at the mansion. You're like smirking at him. Get out of here, dog! Moo! Moo!
I would be very okay. Here we go. Hold on. I gotta reset. Because I'm talking to a computer right now. Anything I say, it's not actually what I'm gonna say.
Why is it a computer?
What's that?
Or you mean like just right now you're talking to a computer?
Yeah, there's no woman. There's no beautiful woman in front of me.
Right.
You know. So I would just tell them. I would say, you know, sorry, Rachel.
I like how the Rachel name is really stuck. Okay.
I'd say it's your time off the island.
I like that. I like referring to the house as an island.
And I'd say, you know what? I'd whisper this. You got off this. You have no idea what's going to happen.
That's a great way to get people to turn into episode 2. If the first person gets knocked off and the first thing they say is, "You got off easy. You gotta get out of here, Rachel. I'm doing you a favor."
Yeah. No, I'd say, you know, maybe in another life.
Maybe in a different time.
I'd throw her the old everywhere, everything everywhere all at once. Maybe in a different time instead of Texas. Not today. And then we do Mr. Beast, where I hit a button and they fall through the floor.
If we could rent a house that had a trap door that people could get shot into, your time is done. And then, whoosh, that'd be sick. I think you cracked the code. I think that's good. I think it's really good.
Can we have a mommy makeout challenge?
That's another challenge. Then we start going into YouTube challenges where it's Mommy Makeout Day, where the girl has to help you go and make out with a woman on the beach or somewhere on the Vegas Strip. It's Mommy Makeout Day. You do one of those, and then whoever can help you get the most kisses, that person wins a date.
Oh, you know what? I like this. I get in a room, right? I don't make out with these women, but I have other guys come in and make out, and they tell me how good they are.
It's the cuckold challenge.
Yeah.
A cuckold challenge is the.
What the fuck? Why would it spawn me right the fuck next to somebody for? Piece of shit game, dude. Would be pretty awesome. You should get a super attractive man to come in and make out with all these women. And he's just like, yeah, I think this one's the best. You're like, awesome. Thank you so much. You hug him.
You know what we do too? We get a doppelganger. They. So like I get to see kind of like what it looks like, how cute we look in public.
This is, this is so psychotic. I just want to see from a distance how cute we look from across the street. You have like a pair of binoculars and you're like watching them from across the street. That looks really cute. That looks really cute actually. That's not bad.
Oh, and then we gotta have challenges where we have kids. We rent kids for the day, and we gotta see how good of a mom, because that's gonna be huge. If you're not a good parent,
Yeah.
it's a no. I need a good mother for my children.
That's true. That's true.
It'll be 3 challenges. You have toddlers. Sorry, you have infants, toddlers, teenagers.
So you're going through the whole bracket. So each day, so the teenage phase, I feel like you got to do something with. That's fine. I feel like you got to do the. You got to do so. It's like taking them to daycare. Somebody you have to see how they deal with somebody drawing on the wall with crowns, and then it's prom day. Also, I also think that should be the second day. The second day, you're going to act like you have a child with this person to really throw them off their feet to see how that feels.
With the teenagers too. It's like you found drugs.
Yeah. What the hell?
Yeah, and they have their date there, so it's embarrassing. So you're embarrassing your child.
It's really funny that these potentially. Well, here's a quick question too. The stream's almost done, so just bear with us, guys. Let me ask you this: what's the age range? I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking: 25 to 35.
Yeah, I was gonna say 25 to 40.
To 40. Oh, I love that. 25 to 40. 25 to 40 feels like a damn fine bracket. 25 to 40. the 40-year-old's gonna fucking sweep that mom challenge. You know, and then you're gonna be like, oh my god, maybe I do need an old woman to ground me. Mommy makeout day.
Yeah, exactly.
I have a feeling the 4-year-old might win.
Well, then we have to do a fertility test.
How long are we keeping these women for? Does it take like weeks and weeks to get the results back? Okay.
I mean, I think that's part of the filtering process.
Yeah.
You need a fertility test, STD test,
Well,
genetic analysis,
yeah.
an IQ test.
God, Nick. An IQ test. God, can you imagine? God, it's gonna be so funny if all the women just leave and no one even stays. That would be the best way for the show to end. And that's just like, it keeps cutting back to me being like, please stay. We have to have a show. Like, we've spent so much money on this. And they're like, no, fuck this. I'm leaving. That's the best way. But the whole time you're just like sitting up in your room and you're just like arms crossed, smirking. Fill out this form and we'll see if you can stay. Well,
yeah, the first day would be like a job interview. That's how you pick the girls.
is that how you do your first dates? Is a job interview?
I ask them about where do you work, what are some of your like goals in life. Let me see your resume. Kind of test them on things, their IQ, their personality.
What's an acceptable IQ for you?
Minimum 100.
Gotta be triple digits, right? Yeah.
If you're not at least the average,
Right.
what are you doing?
What are you doing here?
I'm ready to have grand Magus chess children.
Yeah, you want a Magnus Carlsen chess player child.
There's
Okay.
a book you can train your children to be grandmasters of chess,
There you go.
and they have to have a certain IQ. So
Got to come from nice stock, is what you're saying. Okay. Well, I think that we've delved into this a lot. I think that we have a lot to chew on now. I think that we have a lot that we could base on the show on now. I think everybody feels a lot better for it, and I think that it's going to do very well.
I think if anyone's interested, please send in your application. We will start the process. It will take a year to find the perfect candidates.
Probably not. It wouldn't probably take that long, but we will probably have a designated email that we'll probably set up and do this. It'll be, we'll see. We will see. But that is the meaty news this week. We got to find out that the JFK files were pretty underwhelming. I definitely want the Minecraft meal Big Mac cube. And we also found out that Nick is going to be on a dating show. So have fun. What a lovely Friday.
Also, we got Meaty Magic coming out in 7 minutes.
Meaty Magic, 7 minutes. Be there or be square. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and sit on down because today we're talking about dangerous jobs. The dangerous job we're talking about today, ladies and gentlemen, is being an employee at Waffle House. For those of you who don't know Waffle House, let me give you an idea. Let me paint you a picture. Maybe it's 9 p.m. Everywhere else is closed. Oh, you're like, we can't go to Chili's, right? We have to go to some place where we can grab a quick bite. You go to Waffle House. It's a southern Midwest restaurant chain that is open 24 hours a day that primarily sells breakfast items. Doesn't seem all that dangerous, but for some reason, America has cultivated it as the official stomping ground of the states. I don't know why it's been dedicated as the primal pit, but it has. It didn't always start that way. In fact, actually, it was founded in 1955 by Joe Rogers Sr. and Tom Forkner in Georgia with the vision of creating a fast food restaurant with table service in a friendly atmosphere. Boy, oh boy, did they missed the mark on that one, okay? Ironically enough, they ended up making, dare I say, the most dangerous restaurant in America. Sure, there's brawls in like McDonald's and stuff and fast food chains because there's a billion of them out there. While Waffle House only has 2,000 locations, it is small enough to feel claustrophobic, but it's big enough to really rustle and tussle. It's the perfect arena size. You go to McDonald's to film prank videos, you go to Waffle House to draw blood. That's the delineation. Fuck around and find out at a Waffle House is what they say. And luckily, ladies and gentlemen, we have a little tip from the inside. We've been leaked videos of how they indoctrinate these gladiators, these warriors, to be able to withstand the onslaught that waits them. All right, first one up, Waffle House training, the pull, drop, mark, order, calling method. My objective here is to get you guys feeling like you could do this job. So let's see what we can do here. Say the music is extremely deceptive to how the actual experience is going to go working at a Waffle House. I've never been in a Waffle House, no matter what time of day, where it has ever felt this calm and peaceful before. Never, not once. Even when I was a child and I'd go there with my grandparents, the aura that Waffle House has cannot be matched by any other restaurant. I don't know why that is. It just is. Wait! Today's video is sponsored by Opera GX. Opera GX is on a mission to get people to break up with boring browsers. With Opera GX, you have access to customizing rats, or turn the soothing sounds of heavy rain on the background and more. Killers of the browsers available to chat content about BT. All of these are about Opera housing been through the ringer. I want to say Greg Hall maybe had a couple drinks before this, and I'm like, God damn it, Greg, and they had to comb his hair. Come on, Greg. And he's like, what? It's what? I'm the area vice president. What does that even mean? Area vice president?
The pull, the drop, and the mark.
Look at Greg smile at the end of this. By the end, he says, pull, drop, mark. Come look at this real quick. You pull the pussy, you drop the pussy, then you mark the pussy. They're like, Greg, cut it, cut!
Pull 1/4.
The pull refers to the number.
Pull 1/4.
Pull 1/4. That's deceptive too. It's never that. It's always just like, pull 1/4. Doesn't matter. There can be two people in the restaurant. Yeah, pull 1/4. That's the vibe that you get in a Waffle House. Not pull 1/4.
Pull 1/4.
The pull refers to the number and type of meats to be cooked. Pull 1 bacon, for example, would instruct the grill operator to pull 3 strips of bacon from the refrigerator and place it on the grill.
Pull 1 bacon equals pull 3 strips of bacon. So now they're getting into their own math. You're gonna really see how archaic and weird whatever these things actually mean.
These numbers refer to the number of orders to be cooked and not necessarily the number of pieces of meat. While you pull 1 T-bone when pull 1 T-bone is called, you would pull 2 pieces of pork chop when pull 1 pork chop is called, because 1 order of pork chops is actually 2 chops.
1 equals 3. 2.
Well, yeah, one isn't. What's confusing about it too is 1 doesn't just mean 3 across the board. 1 represents different numerical values given the pieces of meat. Like, there's no way that can actually like help you save time. Right? He said pull 2, so it was pork chops and deviations of 2 or 3. I think it was 2. Okay.
How well a steak is prepared does not need to be called in at this time, unless that steak is rare or medium rare.
If you go to a Waffle House and you order a medium rare steak, I'm gonna be like, what the fuck? Like, why? Can you make that medium rare for me, sweetheart? That Wagyu you got on the grill there? Definitely not the frozen commercial grade steak that you can probably have had in the bottom of the freezer for however long. Can you make sure that thing is just barely pink for me, sweetheart? Thank you.
This is where the magic marker system begins.
This is really why I wanted to get on this video, was the magic marker system. I cannot stress enough how archaic this system is. Greg, take it away.
As the salesperson calls in the order, it is your job to begin placing markers on the plates using the special code that Waffle House has designed to help you remember exactly how everything is to be prepared.
Greg even looks disgusted by this process too. Greg does not look happy that he has to be talking about this. The magic marker system is they use Waffle House plates, various condiments and toppings to show what the order is. The person will tell you the order and the person will dress their plate for the order. Not give them the ticket that you write on. You dress the plate in sign language to understand how you're supposed to prepare this order. If a toast is plain, they have little little signatures of how you're supposed to orient stuff on the plate to remind yourself, oh, there's no butter on this. Not read a ticket, because I guess are they under the impression that the people that are working here cannot read?
That's what it's for, yeah. It's for people who can't read or write.
So can this not be a subsection for that probably small amount of people? I mean, to insinuate that they're like, we should just make this whole system because there's no way anybody can read or write that is working here. That feels insulting. I mean, imagine walking into a Waffle House and you're in the back. All right, so go ahead and cook me this order. And the guy like looks down. It's a slice of cheese with a couple pickles on top and a pack of mayo. What am I looking at here? He's like, this is a turkey club. Are you sure you were supposed to work here?
We call the system magic because our customers often do not notice the markers on the plate and think you have memorized all of the orders that were being called in.
I like how it's like it's supposed to be like you flexing on the people. Now the people are going to be very impressed that you were able to remember scrambled eggs, hash browns, and bacon. But in fact, you've duped them. You've dressed a plate. You have it marked down so you can remember because your brain does not work that well.
Let's start off by marking an order scramble. Simply place a right side up jelly pack vertically in the bottom position of the plate. The jelly pack represents 2 eggs, which we call an order, and the location of the plate tells us that they are scrambled. With the plate marked like this, the customer is getting an order of scrambled eggs with white toast and grits.
This is going to get chaotic very fast. 1 Welch's packet of grape jelly vertically at the bottom of the plate means 2 scrambled eggs. That's how we know that. With white toast is what he said?
If the customer would rather have hash browns, you simply add a few shreds of hash browns to the plate.
You're going to take some cold hash browns off the work tray there, and you're going to dribble them on the top of the plate there to remind yourself that there are hash browns there. And once again, you might hear people clapping in the back by how the hell did they memorize? How do they keep memorizing these orders? But don't forget, you're duping them. These are codes that you're learning.
If the customer wants wheat toast, we simply flip the jelly pack over to indicate wheat.
Let's see what happens if we throw in a butter and a mustard pack. Let's say that you find one of the customers extremely attractive. Well, you can indicate that with one of your buddies without having a sexual harassment lawsuit looming over you. We're going to take 2 strips of bacon and a pound of honey.
If the customer wants a slice of Texas toast, mark the eggs with a jelly pack and place a slice of Texas toast or a biscuit on the plate to remind you that they prefer to have Texas toast or a biscuit instead.
So couldn't you... Okay, hold on. If you're already putting the bread on there, why not just put the white bread? Like, why not put the wheat or the raisin bran? Why does a Welch's grape pack have to indicate the eggs?
Some folks like to have their toast unbuttered or dry. In this case, we have a special mark to remind us to hold the butter. Easily enough, it's a butter packet underneath the jelly packet like this.
By putting a butter under the jelly means no butter.
Putting a butter under the jelly means no butter. Okay, well, put this off to the side. This means nothing to me. I put that off to the side.
So what if a customer wants double toast? Easy. Mark the eggs and then put an additional jelly pack beside the egg to indicate the extra order of toast, like this.
That was easy. You know what? Thank God the basics came easy to me, Greg. Thank you so much. Also, at any time, if you walk in a freezer and you see a containment of alcohol, don't touch it, or I'll break your fingers and I'll fire you immediately.
While most customers order 2 eggs, occasionally a customer may only want a single egg. In that case, we'll mark the egg in the appropriate position to show how the egg is cooked, and then place a ketchup pack below it. Here you can see that I have marked a single overnight breakfast.
So 1 egg. Indicates a ketchup pack under a Welch's. I would love to see just one of these full and a guy just being like, all right, toast with waffles. it's like a full plate of like intricate designs and shit.
In other cases, a customer may be hungry and might want 3 eggs. Here's an example.
Is the mustard it's a +1 metric in there. Okay, makes sense.
If the jelly pack indicates 2 eggs, then how might you mark the plate if the customer wants 4 eggs? That's right. You use 2 jelly packs stacked on top of each other like this.
I like how he said that's right. As if someone's like, you stack the Welch's jam packs together? He's like, of course you do. See, it makes sense.
Yeah, you're on quick.
Also, you put it in the center. You need to put it at the center of the plate to make sure that they know that it's 4, because if you put it on the bottom, that means that there's an active shooter in the Waffle House. In a small place like Waffle House, they would be like, there's an active shooter in here. Guy's like dresses it up and he's like, Aaron.
One of the most popular ways to have eggs at the Waffle House is scrambled. So let's talk about different ways to mark scrambled eggs.
I love Greg's smile, dude. Greg kills me with a smile. Let's talk about different ways to mark scrambled eggs. So let's say your wife's divorcing you. You're trying to hide some of the assets so you don't have to pay as much in alimony. Well, how would you mark that down so she can't hear you while you're talking with your lawyer? Let's grab 2 packets of ketchup and a bottle of Tabasco sauce and figure it out. Let's assume your wife's been cheating on you for several months, and you want to hire a hitman to come and basically snuff her out. If you're paranoid and believe that your phones are tapped and your wife is trying to catch you in one of these misdoings, go ahead and open up your window and put 4 cans of baked beans on the ledge. Then you're going to put a small bottle of Gorilla Glue to indicate that the time is ready to stick to the plan. The bounty hunter's outside like, okay, he put the 4th can of baked beans. Let's go!
It is important to remember that the customer gets 1 slice of cheese for each egg. To make this a triple scramble cheese, you add the mustard pack below the jelly pack to make it a triple, and add a 3rd slice of cheese.
Add the 3rd slice of cheese because there's 3 eggs now. Okay, it's making sense.
You also want to tear off a small corner of the cheese and place it on the top of the marker to help you remember that it comes with cheese.
Tear off a corner of the cheese. There's 3 slices of cheese on the plate. Are people just going to be like, why did I put the cheese on here? Remove a corner of the plate and put it on top. Why? What for? Greg, there's 3 slices of cheese on the plate already.
Wait, are they implying that the cheese on the plate already means there's not gonna be cheese?
No, because he said that the cheese already correlates. The amount of cheese should correlate with how many eggs.
Motherfuckers. Fuck off. 48.5.
the customer gets 1 slice of cheese for each egg.
So if you had 2 eggs, no matter what, you're gonna get 2 slices of cheese, whatever. You put the grape pack on top of the mustard, which indicates 3 eggs. You have 3 slices of cheese. Welcome back to the Papa Meat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Come on in and sit on down because today we're talking about very, very naughty doctors. We're talking about doctors of death. Was technically a doctor of death because in some way or another I feel like a doctor has probably inadvertently killed somebody or is known somebody to die. I feel like doctors come in contact with death all the time, but in particular these are just odd doctors. I don't know how else to say it. I don't think that we're dealing with all doctors of death. Let's just say evil, spooky, dark doctors and nurses. Evil medical professionals gone wrong. 4K, Unreal Engine, photorealistic. Gone sexual. That's exactly right. Which doctors are supposed to be people that are supposed to keep you safe. You go to a doctor for good news or for help, right? Doctors are the angels on earth, dare I say. These people, you know, they defied that logic. They're the archangels. They're the demons. They're Dr. House. I want the good doctor, but instead, House is walking in. Or should I say hobbling in. And he calls me dumb and fat, and then hobbles back out of the room. All right, anyways, we're going to start our list off with Dr. Harold Shipman, the Angel of Death. Dr. Harold Frederick Shipman, infamously known as the Angel of Death, was a British general practitioner and is one of the most prolific serial killers in recorded history. Is that British history?
No.
Aye.
All of history.
All of history. The book World of History.
This is like the most infamous guy.
This is one of the most infamous guys. Okay. All right, well, I'll take your word for it. Starting in the 1970s and continuing until his arrest in 1998, it is estimated that he killed between 200 and 250 of his patients. That is 30. Well, a little shy of 30 years of murder. But at the same time, if you had a baseball card and you flipped that bad boy over, that's a pretty impressive baseball card, is what that is. He primarily targeted elderly women who lived alone, but also sought out
Все объявлено.
Dead fucking players everywhere, man. Shit. I don't want anything to do with that. I just want to get the fuck out of here right now. There's fucking PKP and shit on me. Definitely overweight. Goodbye, Gus. Good old Gus. We'll delete those. Armor is what's gonna be the problem here. Can't put it there. Gasoline, grenade, AFAC, contact bombs. Fuck, I need to leave. 24. Who gets rid of the most shit? That's kind of what I want to do. There you go. Oh, come on. Tool stuff. BPO. Dang, that's rough. Three, okay. Or 4K console for. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. For that. What the fuck do I do with this gun? God damn it. Sell this MBR too.
both males and females of varying ages. Just knock off a couple of birds.
Doing them a favor.
He's like, you're already. He's like, it's pretty much one of those things where it's like someone is trying to go through a door or whatever. You're basically there. You just like push them through, anyways. Just go.
They're trying to jump off like one of those bungee cord things.
Yeah, they're nervous. They're like, I'm afraid to go. And he's just like, and like pushes open, and they come back up. Today's video is sponsored by Aura. Let me tell you something. There's gonna be nothing more annoying than get a ton of spam calls or text. Oh. Working up at the studio, I'll get a message from a random number, and then it just says, hello? Hello? Who is this? I don't know you. Who are you? You're a stranger. Stop! And there's no chance in hell I'm responding or answering to that, all right? Because annoying as these little cockroaches are, I must resist. They're trying to get you to respond so they can steal your personal information. From there, data brokers online can sell that to scammers, spammers, and anyone who's looking to target you. But now, I don't have to worry, because I have Aura! Recently, Ticketmaster was hacked and the data of over 500 million users were put up for sale on the dark web. That's fucked. The data stolen included full names, email addresses, phone numbers, and even credit card numbers. Which is why I love having Aura. Aura shows me which data brokers are selling my information and stops them in their tracks. Aura also protects me from hackers trying to get into my social media and bank accounts. It gives me fast fraud alerts and does the work for me when it comes to removing sensitive information from these websites. Aura also provides an antivirus, a VPN, and a password manager, all from a single app for one low cost. Take back your security when browsing the web and have no fear with Aura. Go to aura.com/papameat or check the description to start your free 2-week trial today. Thank you to Aura for sponsoring this video, and back to the video. His modus... What does that even mean? Is that a goddamn Autobot?
You know, detective shows is like, what's his MO?
Oh, I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Should we just, I feel like I should just say his MO. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. His modus operandi, or his MO. I had no idea. What's his MO? What a dumb thing. Was to inject his victims with a lethal dose of diamorphine, heroin, making it appear as if the victim died of natural causes. To conceal his crimes, he often altered medical records to suggest his patients were in poor health. I mean, bitches are old, dude. He also signed death certificates himself, which allowed him to avoid scrutiny from other medical professionals and authorities.
He was very adamant. Let me sign that. Let me sign that.
That paperwork right there. Let me grab that. Let me grab that quick. Guys, see that? I just want to see it real quick. You should write on that, and it's done. It's done. He's altering the records. Shipman was fascinated with death from an early age ever since his mother died from lung cancer. During her illness, she was administered morphine, which alleviated her pain. Psychologists and criminologists have struggled to fully understand Shipman's motivations, but it is speculated that this early exposure to the effect of morphine had some influence on his killing spree.
Here's a question. Do you think he killed his mom?
That's a bombshell because my immediate gut reaction was yes. Well, how did he give his mom cancer? No, do you know what he did? No, you know what he did to his mom? His mom got cancer. All he did every day, he was like, here, drink this water. He kept putting a water bottle by like an open window and letting light come in. Here, drink this, Mom. She's like, tastes like microplastics. He's like... Before the murders, Shipman was caught forging an opioid prescription for his own use. King. He was fined 600 euros, then was able to continue his practice after attending a rehab center. He had an extremely controlling personality and would constantly override the wishes of his patients and their families, insisting that his methods and decisions were final. I love that. No, I don't think we need that. He's like, you do. You do. Well, it's just kind of like a swollen ankle. I don't think we need... No, you're going to take the meth. Oh, no, you're going to take the heroin. I mean, whatever it's called. Morphine. Who am I to judge? He also attended the funerals of his victims, which allowed him to show that he was a caring doctor and to deflect suspicion from himself. Despite his facade of a caring doctor, Shipman was known among colleagues for his arrogance and belittling behavior. One colleague of his stated,
he was often unnecessarily rude and made some of them feel stupid.
To be fair, that quote was dumb.
He made some of us feel like a real bunch of waterheads. Right, guys?
And they're all just like...
Not me, though.
Or they're all British, so they're just like, hey, he fought, he did, eh? Nah, we don't need to put that in. Shipman was eventually caught after the questionable death of Kathleen Grundy, a wealthy 81-year-old widow. Man, that's my dream wife.
81-year-old widow?
Oh, dude. Some 81-year-old, I mean, like, billionaire.
How'd you come in here? Give me a kiss.
You know what I mean? And I'm like...
Lady's daughter grew suspicious when she found out that her mother excluded her and her children from the will and left 400,000 didgeridoos to Shipman. I'm just gonna keep saying didgeridoos. An autopsy was performed and revealed the lethal levels of diomorphine in her system. This led authorities to exhume several other bodies, uncovering more evidence of lethal injections. Shipman was convicted on January 31st, 2000. It was found guilty on all 15 counts of murder and 1 count of forgery. The worst crime of them all. I like how there's like one guy. Be sure to get the forgery in there.
Just in case.
Just in case the 15 life sentences are enough, be sure to put that forgery on top. It was noted that during his trial, he showed no remorse for his actions. His demeanor was often described as cold and detached. He was sentenced to life imprisonment with the recommendation that he should never be released. Well, at this time, how old is he? He's gonna be old as fuck, right?
And I recommend you never let him out.
He's like, I'm 78. I don't care. I'll sleep on a cot for 3 years and die in my sleep. That doesn't feel like justice is served, does it? No. He's like, all right, you're gonna have to basically be at summer camp forever. Free meals every day. He's like, that's great. I have dementia. Oh, wait. He was found to have rode the sewers in his cell at Wakefield Prison on January 13th, 2004, the day before his 58th birthday.
I was only 58.
No, that's still a long time. 58, almost 60 years old, and you've had 30 years of killing. I mean, that has to equate to like at least a 90-year-old guy. You know what I mean? Like that much? Like, come on. How many collective years did he steal from people? Add it on top. Even if it's a fucking 83-year-old woman, it's like, you got a year left, maybe? Add it on top. See, now you're 59. I don't know. This is seen as his final act of control, denying the families of the victims the chance to see him serve his full sentence. This case remains one of the most shocking examples of medical malpractice, leading to significant changes to how doctors are monitored and how death certificates are issued. That's actually kind of crazy too that, I mean, this happened in the year 2000, or the guy was imprisoned in the year 2000. I still think about anything like that in my lifetime as like being relatively soon. Well, I mean, it's like only 20 years ago.
That was like when 9/11 happened.
Yeah. True. Way to bring the video down, dude. Also, you're talking about like a rich person and you write the people out and you only give yourself $400,000. What a dunce, dude. I do wonder what kind of control that is, though. A lot of these serial killers throughout history, right? Like binding, like BTK, bind, torture, kill. They had like some kind of like super control over it. But just giving someone a lethal injection just feels so lackluster.
I think it's just like that fascination of like, I control your life.
Okay, well, I guess, yeah. I'm the person who gets to decide when your final date is.
They're basically dead.
Yeah, you are the angel of death. You're just like, today's the day. Yeah, okay, I can see that.
I also think, relating back to his mom, there's like a sympathy aspect where he's like, I see these people in pain and I want to end their suffering.
So he's a good guy.
Yeah, that's what I...
So he's a good guy. Yeah, that's cool. Next up, we have Nurse Charles Colin. Charles Edmund Colin is one of the most infamous serial killers in American history.
I specifically put American history because it's not the world.
Right. As a nurse, a male nurse, he used his position to murder at least 40 patients over the course of his 16-year killing spree. His method of killing was both insidious and difficult to detect. He would administer lethal doses of
digoxin,
insulin, and epinephrine to his victims. These drugs, especially in the critical care units where he worked, could easily be attributed to natural causes of underlying health conditions. Charles Colin was born in 1960 and is the youngest of 8 children. God, he's like barely older than my mom. She is so old, dude. God, you ever like think about your parents' age or just like, God damn, dude. Mummies walking around. Good Lord. When he was 7 months old, his father died, leaving his mother to raise him and his siblings alone. Colin described his childhood as unhappy, marked by bullying from classmates and feelings of isolation. When he was 9 years old, Colin made his first suicide attempt by drinking chemicals from his chemistry set. He attempted to ride the sewers again at the age of 17 when his mother died in a car accident. Because of his mental struggles, he dropped out of high school and joined the Navy. He was then subsequently bullied by his shipmates. God damn, dude, leave this motherfucker alone. Holy shit. Which led to him making several more attempts to end his own life again. And in one instance, he tried to end his life by locking himself in a compartment and drinking a mixture of chemicals. What was up with him being like, all right, chemical time number 4. Try something different. You're on Navy? I don't know, man. I don't want to tell you how to do the deed. I don't want to tell you how to ride the sewer. I don't know, dude. Mixing Febreze and bleach isn't doing it for you. Like, come on. After a series of psychological evaluations, Colin was medically discharged from the Navy in 1984.
Wonder how long he was in there. Like, all right, well, he keeps drinking bleach and Febreze. Maybe you should just go home? I don't know. Yeah, everyone's like, yeah, go home, Febreze boy. Dude, you smell good. Yo, why your breath smells so good, dude?
He's like, stop, guys, stop.
Spray his mouth. After leaving the Navy, Colin pursued a career in nursing and graduated in 1987. It's a strange trajectory. How do you find the nursing thing? Do you think he was positively affected by a nurse who was helping him?
I was gonna
Like,
say.
oh, here, help, you know.
It's almost like psychologists are like, I'm broken, so I need to become a psychologist to fix other people.
Well, if that's the case, you'd almost assume he'd like become a chemist.
Yeah.
Why, if you keep drinking that many chemicals, why would you not be like, I'm going to make the perfect death potion for myself? Would that not be the best thing? I don't know. His first killing was at St. Barnabas Medical Center in Livingston, New Jersey on June 11th, 1988. Despite the suspicious nature of the death, Colin faced no immediate consequences. And over the next 16 years, he moved from hospital to hospital, leaving a trail of unexplained deaths in his wake. Throughout his career, Colin's mental health continued to deteriorate. He attempted to ride the sewers multiple times, using various methods such as overdosing on pills, lighting charcoal grills in enclosed spaces to succumb to carbon monoxide poisoning, and even injecting himself with concoction of medications. It wasn't until 2003 when a series of suspicious deaths at Somerset Medical Center raised some alarms. The hospital's advanced computerized drug dispensing system, Pyxis, helped identify Colin's pattern of accessing drugs not prescribed to his patients. The pivotal moment came from when Colin attempted to murder a patient named Philip Greger. The hospital records show that Colin had ordered medications for patients who were not under his care. An internal investigation, coupled with pressure from the New Jersey Poison Control Center, led to Colin's arrest on December 12th, 2003. 2 years after the towers fell. I feel like all of these, we're going to just keep coming back to that. Following his arrest, Colin cooperated with authorities, confessing to killing at least 40 patients over his career. However, investigators believe the actual number of victims could be much higher, potentially in the hundreds. Colin was charged on multiple counts of murder and attempted murder. And in 2006, Charles Colin was sentenced to 11 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole. He is currently serving his sentence at New Jersey State Prison in Trenton. That's insane that he's still alive. And every time I hear these, you're like, oh, the guy's still kicking. How is that justice? Killed the fucking guy, dude. That would him getting a lethal injection, whatever. That'd be the perfect ending to
I was
it.
gonna say that'd be too much. That's what he wants. He wants to kill himself so bad. So it's almost like torture for him to live.
Yeah. That's probably true. That or I just feel like people need like some kind of crazy punishment. Like you have to just like stand in like a 4x4 box for the rest of your life. I have mental health problems. Fuck you. Slide the thing.
But the Japanese would hold their prisoners upside down and like put a little cut in their neck.
And they just bleed out slowly. Telling you. See, that's just a little like that's a torturous way. And I know it probably sounds a little barbaric, but that's just to me justice is like eye for an eye, right?
How about undoing what you did? So he'd have to give birth to.
He doesn't give birth. He's saying that. All right, you've killed 40 people. Now you have to foster 40 children. Court adjourned. Everyone's like, put forgery at the top of that, please. Forgery. Next up, we have Nurse Niels Hogel. I did not say that right. I don't know how to. Is it Hogel, you think? Hogel. Niels Hogel. Ugel. Niels Ugel was born on December 30th, 1976 in Wilhelmshaven, Germany. Little is publicly known about his early life, but it has been described as relatively unremarkable. Ugel began his nursing career in the late 90s, and Ugel's method of killing was both straightforward and terrifyingly effective. He administered overdoses of heart medications such as linocaine and calcium chloride to his patients. I just don't even try because I know I'm going to say it wrong. So if I do at least do it in a funny way, then people are like, oh. These drugs, when given in excessive amounts, could induce life-threatening cardiac arrhythmia. Heart attacks. It's just heart attacks. Ugel would then attempt to resuscitate the very patients he had brought to the brink of death, all in an attempt to demonstrate his medical prowess and his heroic deed. Some colleagues reportedly referred to Ugel as Resuscitation Rambo due to the frequency and enthusiasm which he engaged in emergency resuscitations. Which, first off, red flag number one. And the guy's like, oh my god, yes, my turn. When instead of like taking it seriously, but if I, also kind of how creepy is that? Is that goes Resuscitation Rambo, eh? Hey, Ugel, good job on reviving that guy. And he's just like,
Must have failed a lot though too.
yeah, all right, I tried.
I think I could do.
Well, you know, at least I gave it my all, right, guys? And they're like, true, Ugol. True. Ugol's murder I'm gonna stick with Ugol, I don't give a Ugol's murder spanned from 2000 to 2005, during which he is believed to have killed at least 85 patients, though the actual number, as always, may be higher. Which also, you know what I always say to that is like, why would they not admit to just be like, yeah, I killed like a lot?
Because maybe they forget. I don't remember.
Did Ugol, kill that guy? I'm going to say it's a wash, I don't know. His actions went undetected for years, and his victims were often elderly or critically ill patients who were less likely to survive a medical emergency. This made it easier for Ugol to mask his murders as natural deaths or medical complications. He would typically work the night shift, a time when fewer staff were present, allowing him to operate with little interference. Ugol's downfall began at Del Manchort Clinic, where colleagues in hospital administration started noticing an unusually high number of resuscitation attempts and deaths during his shift. Those were kind of funny. I like how they're just like, all right, so during the daytime we had 2 today. During the graveyard shift we had 463. That has to be a typo, right? Ugol, is that a typo? I don't know. I guess I'm just lucky. It's an 87% fatality rate. Well, you know, you got to know when to hold them, and you got to know when to fold them. Am I right, guys? Despite these red flags, it took several years before concrete action was taken, and in June of 2005, a colleague caught Ugol in the act of injecting a patient with potentially lethal dose of Amaline. It's Ajmaline. Ajmaline? I am a salty prince? The patient survived and Ugol was arrested. Initially, he was charged with attempted murder, but further investigation revealed the true extent of his crimes. Initially, he was tried and convicted for 2 murders and 2 attempted murders, but Ugol eventually confessed to 55 murders and convicted for 85.
They just tagged on more to him.
I'm pretty sure that's Ugol. He's like, no, 9, that's not me. After a deep psychological evaluation from doctors, he exhibited traits of narcissism and a craving for attention and recognition. Me. Would you say I'm narcissistic, Nick? Give me some narcissistic breakdowns.
Self-centered, arrogant thinking and behavior, lack of empathy, consideration for other people, and an excessive need for admiration.
I mean.
All right, you do fit 90% of those.
Yeah, I would say almost 100. What's the 90%? Which one do you think is true?
Which one is true? Just off your own words, the need for admiration, an excessive need for admiration.
Fuck you, you're fired. His motives appear to be a combination of a desire to impress colleagues with his resuscitation skills and a pathological need for control over life and death. During trials and testimonials, he stated to saying some of these things. I wanted to create an emergency situation and then bring the patient back to life. I felt euphoric when I managed to resuscitate someone. It was a continuous craving for recognition. You know, that's actually pretty interesting for a serial killer. Because once again, all the serial killers who get the spotlights, you know, are people who are like, I'm gay and I couldn't be gay, so I had to have my, like Jeffrey Dahmer, I was gay, so I wanted them to never leave me. Or like, I had to control them and like, you know, torture them for my own sadistic game. But just being a doctor and just the idea of like, I get to choose when your life ends, like now, this patient, I get to control when this patient goes. In like a caring way, in a fucked up caring way, it makes so much more sense. Like the more we go down these, the more I'm like, oh, obviously this is like a serial killer's like paradise.
Also, it's noted that he had an unremarkable life, so maybe he was just bored.
Unremarkable life? Well, here's the thing. An unremarkable life. He continuously wanted praise from people. So he was probably a guy who probably didn't have a lot of talents and stuff. Maybe didn't have a lot of friends. He had a very middle of the road. So then he probably like resuscitated somebody one time and he got that attention he wanted. And he's like, oh shit, I'm gonna chase that high forever. It's like sadistically sad and like crazy that like people can be put in that mental space where they're like, I need to literally have someone go into cardiac arrest so someone will give me attention. Just fucking weird what the human brain like thinks up.
Oh, I bet too, even the patients. Dr.
Oh yeah, you saved me. I'm doctor. Thank you for saving my life. And he's like,
live Dr. Oogle reaction. What, me? Dr. Oogle you refer to? Okay.
I bet you that was the first time it happened. He like brought someone back to life. Oh,
Oh yeah, the first patient he actually saved, that was the fucking tilting point. Because then next time, I bet you what happened is, he's like, the guy saying, thank you, Dr. Oogle, and then the family's just like, oh, Dr. Oogle, thank you, and he's